Hi, this is Paula. Welcome back into our conversation and back to the Painted City.
Hello, everyone. This is Patricia. Yes, we are so excited to be back on the air for a new podcast, and we're very excited with our special guest today, Jon KenKnight, Arts Advocate and General Manager of Sam Flax.
I really hope I don't screw this up.
Well, you couldn't do any worse than us.
We love your humor, Jon. You have to have humor.
Are we on now? Is this live?
Yes.
Is this on?
It's not correct.
Is this for kids? Or is this more for adults? Because I have something to say if it's for adults.
Are we allowed to say 4-letter words? Or huh?
No, it's nothing like that.
My mind is going.
It's something that I've never been on a podcast before, but I've listened to a lot of podcasts. And the ones that I like the most are where the guests and the hosts are very open and honest. And I have something I'd like to say. Is that okay?
That's quite fine.
In 1986, I killed a man with my bare hands, and I was never caught. No one asked me a single question about it. So.
Is that where the word radio silence comes in?
I'm just joking.
Oh my God.
You kind of give me flashbacks of Johnny Cash right there. And what?
That is so funny. There used to be an exit sign here. It's no longer there. Did you come in and take that down?
I really hope I'm not grading stuff that you have to edit out. I'm just trying to.
We love that.
Yeah, it's like, what's the movie? I love it. Summer School. Tension breaker has to be done.
Patricia's face is telling a different story.
Oh, I think this is a side view that I have not seen, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
Well, the rest of this, I'll be a normal person. I just wanted to add a little bit of levity.
Well, please bring the levity. We do love the normal person. And again, I was about to sing Johnny Cash, and
that is so funny. And here I was thinking that you were going to use a 4-letter word. And I'm looking at Charles, our tech whiz, and he's like, what is he?
Charles, he have to edit some of this out.
So, since we already discussed about Fear of Pension and Murder, let's talk a little bit about what kind of podcasts you listen to. Because I really love the true crime podcast. My favorite is Blind and Crime.
True crime is huge right now. I like Last Podcast on the Left. It's not all about crime, a little bit of UFOs and ghosts and just funny stories. So I spend time in the car. I've got a podcast on or an audiobook. I love audiobooks. And with the podcast, with Last Podcast on the Left, they actually came to town. We bought VIP tickets, my friend Henry and I. Waited in line after the show for probably 45 minutes to get our picture taken. And we finally get up to it. There's three hosts, and we get up to them. And I hand them my camera, and they took a picture of a guy, took a picture of me with the three hosts. And then it's Henry's turn. And Henry handed his camera to the host and made the host take a picture of Henry by himself. So if I go back again, I'm going to ask if they remember Henry.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
What do you guys listen to?
Gosh, there's so many. Paula, you go first.
So I'm kind of all over the place, kind of like my mind. I like Wine and Crime. I just finished Bridgewater Season 2, which is kind of like a story unfolding about Bridgewater is a place where things disappear, and where at the first season, I don't want to give too much away, a character thought dead shows back up. So I really like that one.
That's very cool. So is this true crime or is it fiction?
It's fiction. So I kind of rotate. I like a little lack of reality with my nonfiction. So I'm a little bit of both. Like I read a lot of biographies, and then I'm like, oh, let me read about magical fairyland.
I love it. Mixing it up.
Some of my favorites are, well, it used to be called 10% Happier, but I think now it's called Happier with Dan Harmon. Love that one. I love Arcuse. That's with a couple of artists in England. Love that one. I love Jay Shetty. So they're all kind of positive, sappy a little bit, but I love also the sappy painter. Very so many.
Oh, bad words. There's a podcast about the history of bad words that I absolutely love.
The coolest thing, and I was mentioning this earlier, the coolest thing is right now I'm looking at my phone and it has all the little icons for these podcasts that I listen to. And now I have a new favorite one that's on Spotify called Painted City.
Oh my goodness.
You guys are totally legit.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
It means a lot. Thank you so much.
It's cool.
I'm saying it. We're on the list.
No, it's very cool. And I know that we're on the Best of Orlando Weekly for Central Florida Podcast, but you're also on that list, aren't you?
I'm very proud of that. So, Sam Flax, I'm the general manager of Sam Flax. And for those out there listening that aren't familiar with the store, it's a 100-year-old company. We've been in Orlando for about 45 years. And we sell fine artist materials and custom framing, books, fine writing instruments, fountain pens, glasses, all of that. But the thing that I'm most proud of is the way that we interact with our artistic community here in Orlando. So our biggest event, we only do it once every 3 years. We just finished in February. It's called the Sam Flax Wall Project. This is our 6th time we've done it. And it's a giant mural project. So there's 16 murals. We have 11 on our building, and then across Alta Loma on a neighboring building, we have 5 more. And some of these are 10 by 10, but some of them are about 14 feet high and 25 feet wide. So large scale murals. And what we do is we do a call to artists. And we received on this last one well over 300 submissions. And we, as a company, sort of anonymously vote on them. I create a hard copy book that I pass around to the staff. And then we reach out, we make a public announcement for the winners. And then as soon as that date is set, I go into permitting with the city of Orlando and I close that street. So now what we have is a giant block party. Shinjun Restaurant next door, which is, if you like authentic Korean food, it's arguably the best in the city. He created a beer garden and food trucks. We have food, drinks. DJ Nigel spins every time for us, and it's a huge family-friendly event. So that's once every 3 years. And to my delight, we were nominated for Best Outdoor Arts Event. And just to be nominated is great. If you look on the Weekly's page, you'll see some of the other events that are also nominated, and they're all fantastic. So I'm just thrilled to be in the same list. It's quite an honor.
And that's so well deserved. We will definitely vote for you and spread the word on that. And if you haven't seen that mural, it's stunning. Could you name some of the artists? I know there's so many, but if you could name a few of those artists.
Oh, absolutely. I will name them all. So in no particular order, Rick Lund and Delia Miller, PK Savita, Matto Smith, Blue Sky, Ryan Simple, Suave, Slez, German Limas, Lissa Wen, Tunes, and Acros, Halal, and there's a couple of others I'm racking my brain for, but we'll come back to that.
So free. And I really do enjoy the murals. I mean, it makes me happy every time I see them. But not just artists. I happen to read somewhere that you also bring UCF filming and documentary people that come into Sam Flax.
Oh, it's so funny. And I don't really have anything to do with that. Of course, the students shop with us, and we are very, very proud of our partnership with UCF. So the students, they're there already, and some of the film students, they say, wow, this is a cool place to shoot. So they ask permission. I'm like, sure, could you start like an hour before we open? And on the last one, they came in and I was there. And this time I paid attention. I'm like, so what scene is it that you're shooting? And he told me the story. He said it's about a boy and a girl, two students. They're in love. One comes from a poor family. One is a wealthy family. And the scene that I wrote for them is they're in the paint aisle. And she's going to hold a tube of paint out to the woman who came with the poor family and ask her why she doesn't buy this paint and why are you buying that one? And then her response is going to be, because I can't afford it. And then they fall in love. So it's kind of fun. And they're all mobile. They're walking around the store. It's every now and then we get a celebrity. About 20 years ago, Crispin Glover was in the store. This is right around the time that the movie Willard came out. And I was kind of new there anyway, so I kind of chickened out when it came to talk to him, but I stood next to him and kind of stared at him. And the guy from my lottery dream home.
David Bromstead.
Yes,
Yeah.
David Bromstead with all the tattoos.
I think he lives here in town.
I heard that.
And not too far from us. So I would told.
I actually had a story where I actually froze when I worked at Barnes & Noble because Tim Roth came in and asked me where the bathrooms were. And I went, but just kind of waved over and I just was staring at him, just kind of frozen. And I'm just like, that's Tim Roth. That's Tim Roth. And I mean, I absolutely adore Tim Roth. And this was shortly, he had just done Rob Roy. And then we also had Roscoe. I don't remember the actor's name, but the guy from Dukes of Hazzard, Roscoe.
He trying.
Yes. And he actually did the on his way out because all of us loved it.
Was this at this Barnes & Noble up the street?
It was at the Barnes & Noble on Orange. I actually started working there years ago. And then the Roscoe was when I worked at Borders in Oviedo.
Oh,
I love a good bookstore.
I have a celebrity side when I was working.
Yeah.
It happened when I was working at the Grand Bohemian Gallery, downtown Orlando. I was told that she would be in, and they said, you're going to have a VIP guest. It's a celebrity. You might know her. So I look at the list. Being in a high profile, 5-star hotel or 4-star, whatever. You get guests like that. And it was Delta Burke.
Oh, wow.
She was a former, I believe, Miss Orlando, Miss USA, one of them for sure, Miss Orlando, and designing women. And Jack came in. I always loved her. I thought she was just this little Southern belle, and she was more gorgeous in person. I was expecting this big Amazon of a woman. She's quite petite. And the funny thing is, we had to close the gallery down. I was working that day. And she had a pack of cigarettes in her pocket. And she said, honey, can I smoke in here? I'm like, I'm so sorry.
The gallery?
Yes.
Delta, no.
She was doing a private viewing of some artwork. And we sat on the floor. She was so down to earth, so humble. But I did get her a glass of wine, like a Cabernet or something. So that was really fun to sit on the floor with Delta Burke. So, yeah.
I love that gallery in there in Grand Bohemian. I remember Donna Dallas had some work in there.
I don't know. Everyone knows stuff.
And we did have her have Fling Dobbs, of course. She worked in the gallery, and I opened her own gallery in college. So yeah.
I mean, well, that's great. That's one of the things. So I'm actually a born and bred local Orlandoan. I know that there's not tons of them from what I hear. But I'm always glad to hear about people who want to come to Central Florida because we have so much going on. But I also love kind of getting out of Central Florida. Now, I heard somewhere that you really like to travel and do some doing.
Yes.
I really do. So I did there's this place in northern Minnesota called the Boundary Waters Canoe Area. And it's millions of acres of some of the last drinkable water in lakes and rivers. Of course, you still filter, but technically you can drink. out of a lot of those rivers and lakes. It's beautiful. And, like Lord of the Rings, how they're traveling, all that shot in New Zealand. But like, you go up a hill and then you're down to like a little meadow and then you go up. It's kind of like that. So all of these little lakes are shaped in a unique way, and you've got your map and you're portaging from one lake to the next, and then you're in a river for a while, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I went on a 60-mile solo canoe trip, and then got back here, and then I fell in love with this canoe I wanted to buy. I drove back to Wisconsin to buy the canoe, and came back home again. So now I have the best of the best canoe that I haven't had a chance to take back up there. I've canoed around here. And then for traveling, my partner Lisa and I have gone, did quite a bit of traveling over the last few years, and we want to do more. We went to France, went to Paris, and then all over Italy, and then Portugal.
Oh,
And I know you've been doing some travel.
yes. I recently completed Route 66. I did my very beatnik vibe. I listened to all the versions of Get Your Kicks on Route 66. I love road trip. I love America, like just that, getting in the car and driving across states with the windows down, stopping to see. I can be kitschy, like the biggest ball of twine or I really like that. And just like local art museums, like I love stopping at places where they have like miniature art galleries. I actually, weirdly enough, have either of you been to Salem, Massachusetts?
No, it's on the list though.
Okay, so one, I absolutely love it. And I went there shortly after COVID. I flew up there for work. And they have a satanic temple and art museum. Okay. But they have original dollies, Van Goghs, and all of this in there. And I was like, okay, I'll try this out. And I thought it was interesting because it was the only place I was at in all of Boston and Salem is that if you take your mask off, you will be kicked out of our facility in sight.
Oh, wow.
But no, I mean, I love kind of trying new things. It doesn't always stay. I don't know about you. Like sometimes you're like, okay, I'll do this very.
I'll try anything. And Patricia, Iran, Turkey, those are both very well traveled.
I would say so. Yeah, there's a lot of places I still want to see, even here in the States.
Yeah, me too.
There's so much. But tell us about your earlier beginnings.
So
Where you
I grew up I was born in La Jolla in California. And when I was 5, my family moved to Hawaii. So my parents had gone there a couple of times, and my dad's an artist. And he met Lin Shu, who owns the Village Galleries, and painted on location. And on that first trip, by the time they got back, those works had sold. And then they went back again, and the same thing happened. So they said, kids, come on, let's go. So we moved out there, and my mom started working for the gallery and eventually started managing her own location. My dad continued to paint, not just there, but all through the Southwest. And during the summers, we would go on road trips. My dad would move paintings from one gallery to another. So Taos, Santa Fe, Sedona, all over the place. So we had a lot of that. And then I learned to picture frame and cut mats, and then ended up working in the gallery. And that's how all of this started. So, my dad passed away about 2 years ago. And, but every time they would come up or call me, they were always really interested in what shows I was going to, what events I was planning for the store. So I think in that way, I made my dad really proud. My mom's doing great. My brother, they both still live out there.
What city in Hawaii?
Well, my mom lives in Hanakauai, which is in Maui, near Lahaina. And my brother lives in Honolulu on Oahu.
Hawaii's always been on my list to travel. I have like my top places, and they were kind of always on my list.
It's easy to go, and it's not that expensive. We can get Google flights, like actual Google flights. Google has a great little site set up, and you buy a one-way out and you buy a one-way back. You fly to Hawaii for like $320.
Or you might not come back on waste.
But what I just learned that I was talking to a friend, right? So my next trip is Norway.
Wow.
So my husband's Norwegian. His grandmother's from Bergen. His middle name is actually a family name. It's Bjarne. So for his 50th, we're going to go to Norway. And I just found out that if you buy a connecting flight for Reykjavik, it doesn't cost any more. You can extend your trip up to 7 days and stay in Reykjavik for no extra money.
That's great.
And I was like, what?
When do you go?
His birthday is in August next year.
Nice.
Something to look forward to.
So that's been on my list. And of course, I would absolutely love to go to Australia.
I've been actually to Australia. My brother, he's in alternative energies and like back in the ethanol days, and now it's other things. But he took me as a quote unquote business consultant with them when I was like in my early 20s. So we went to Australia for a week. It was beautiful. We spent every day in a tire recycling facility, but in the mornings and the evenings we had fun. But I was watching tires get shredded. That's why he was there.
I mean, there's got to be something maybe like mindful about it.
Yeah.
Just the process, maybe.
Well, repurposing things, that's always good for the planet.
Oh yeah, I mean, I do love a good repurposed story and everything like that. I love artists, and I do that too. I kind of found art that you kind of pull in, or what can I make out of this so it doesn't just end up in a landfill.
Yes, absolutely.
So one of the things, we are just coming off of the Pulse anniversary, and I know that Sam Flax did an awful lot of work, and you were kind of one of the spearheads about that.
Well, that in the aftermath of what happened, and the anniversary was, I think, yesterday. I've been with Sam Flax for like about 24 years. Back then, I managed the custom framing department, and our manager at the time had an idea to reach out to the city and donate to whoever wanted the materials to create art, to come by the store, pick it up, no questions asked, and to paint something. And then all we asked was that you bring it back. And that started the Paint Strong campaign. So at the end, we had over 350 works of art that, with the help of Mayor Dyer and many others, volunteers, ton of people. We had a traveling show that we took all over, and the city, the residents of our city beautiful were able to come out and take a look at the art. And at the end, we gave all of those works to the One Pulse Foundation, and I drove them over there they put them in a warehouse, air-conditioned warehouse. So it's my understanding back then that they're going to be part of some memorial, or some of them will. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they end up.
So beautiful. What a gorgeous thing. What a big part for you and Sam Flax to do such a commemoration for that. And it's so timely that we're having this conversation on the day after.
That's the beauty of art. It allows you to speak a language without saying anything. Some things you can't even talk about. It's too painful, or you just don't know what to say, but you can say it with art. So those were children, professionals, amateurs, people who never picked up a paintbrush in their lives, created all of these works. And that's probably the single most thing that I'm most proud of, the store.
That's so beautiful. And when they say art heals, Paula, we say this a lot. How do you, as a therapist, we talk about that, how art heals?
Oh yeah, it's very cathartic. And I mean, I've worked with a lot of people. I used to do free drop-in art groups when I had a place to do them. Anyone with anxiety, or just who didn't want to be alone, to drop in and do random art projects, because you're right. You can't always put a word to what you're feeling. We aren't out words necessarily. We know, like, mad, sad, angry. Like, I loved the Fred Rogers documentary when he said that one of the biggest things he did is a kid came up to him and said, "What do I do with the mad that I have?" And I was like, Yes. And, his answers, art can be cathartic. It can release the things that our body holds up. I mean, they're great book, The Body Keeps Score. When we have all this, it just stays in and having that release, you know.
Yeah.
And then you can share it and it's open to other people's interpretations, but it's gone, you've left it on the page. And now you can make space for breath or for your next big project or to dance the Macarena. Like you'll put whatever space you need to make. Yeah.
My favorite part of doing the job that I do, it has to do with just people creating artwork. Like, so every event that we do, there's always a make and take table. So for those of you that don't know, you two know what they are, but like those little, those little mini canvases, they're like 2 inches by 3 inches, and they're cute little wooden easels that are like 3 inches tall. So we do like with Posca markers, like little make and takes. So adults and kids, everyone can make something and take it home, or we do Posca rocks, or we'll do a demo or something. So yeah, to see people kind of let their hair down and just fool around. Like I watched this woman at our last event. Her kids are there doing it. And then I was grilling hot dogs and I saw her eventually. She's like, you know what? I'm going to do one. And I saw her, she's doing her own. And that's what we like. That's what sets us apart at the events. And that's why people say, oh, this is more than an art store. It's sort of a community hub. I used to have this giant bulletin board and we got rid of it because it just takes so much space, but I'm thinking about bringing it back. So everyone that has a flyer for an art show or whatever, or a poem, there was all kinds of fun stuff on there. I want to do that again. I don't know if you guys remember that, but
I remember from a while ago.
A long time ago, yeah.
But no, I love that. I mean, I love the community that's built around art. And I kind of love that sense of wonder and enjoyment and play you see when someone who hasn't picked up a brush or someone who's coming back, when you can start to kind of see it in them. I guess like you're talking about this woman, like when you go back and enjoy something, I don't know if I've ever picked up finger paint since I was in grade school, but I remember I was doing a project with chalk was one of the groups that I did. I had everyone out. We just did chalk. And I was like, when was the last time I went out for the street?
That was part of one of the thing that really got people going on that last event were all of the kids stuff. So we had street sticks is what they're called, the giant pieces of chalk, the good ones. And we bordered off a whole area and the kids were doing it. The adults were doing it too. But then we had little easels that about like 3 feet tall and little 8x10 canvases, and the kids were wearing little things and they were doing their own little easel gallery.
Oh, that's
painting.
amazing.
And that, this is while all the muralists were doing their thing, but that takes hours, takes a few days for them to finish. So there are these other things. So we're going to create a Kids and Families Day that we're going to do every year. And we'll do it outside. We're not going to close that street, but we're going to close that front parking lot. And it's going to be all kids and families. And I'm going to reach out to some of the summer camps and places like Maitland Arts Center, all of that. So they can Crealdi, exactly. And of course, and like when Creoli's there, we're going to do it early enough where parents can sign their kids up for summer camp programs. So I'm thinking you're going to have to help me with this on like a good month to do it, because there needs to be enough time. Yeah. But that was probably one of the most successful parts of the wall project.
Wow.
Inclusivity.
Yeah. You're speaking my language, and if you just need a random volunteer, or a social worker, I'm your girl. What are some of the other events that you have coming up now? Because I know you have some work coming up.
At the end of this month, we did this last year. It coincided with Van Gogh's birthday. So we had easels all set up in the parking lot and everyone was painting sunflowers. We have an artist named Jay Bolden who dresses up like, you know him. He's actually a professional. I've been to his house. Yeah, he's great. But so this year, it's really called, this is free sessions. So our 3 artists, Jay Golden, Susan Long, and Paul Vincini, they are giving free classes throughout the day. So you'll come, you'll follow along your class, and hopefully you'll sign up to take other classes from them. But that's a huge success for us, and it's all free, so it sells out immediately. You still register online and all that. So I'll be with my straw hat. I'll be grilling hot dogs. I grill vegan hot dogs as well. But you need meat. I don't eat meat. We went to Mamuk.
Mama.
Yeah, Mamuk.
Okay, so the roadie is like the way to my heart.
Yeah.
That on my comfort food. It's just I want that roadie sauce.
Oh yeah, it's delicious.
I could put that on everything my whole life.
We go there. We almost went today, but we couldn't. Next time.
So that event is coming up on Saturday, June 28th. So if you guys, if anyone's out there just wants to spend an afternoon, or it'll be going all day, just come hang out. You don't even have to buy anything. Just come hang out, eat a hot dog, do a try it table, take a free class, and fall in love with the store.
I'm giggling. We're both giggling. You just said something. Come to Sam Flax and don't buy any.
Oh, don't.
Yeah, right.
Charles, you have to edit this out. I just said another thing. I started the show off saying I murdered someone and got away with it. Now
you're saying just come over to the same Flax and don't buy.
I told you this would be a disaster. Do not have me come.
Drop it.
I don't think I've ever walked out of there without. I mean, I don't think I've walked out of there with spending less than $60.
But I say something? But it's not a shame. It's not a shameless plug that you're doing it. I'm doing it. So many people ask me when I take my art books to class, because I teach it absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I buy a lot. Is it the Tasha books? I love those books.
They're the best we have.
Yes, I have a handful of them.
I do too.
Where did you get your art book? Because I don't know if any sales, but I tell them Sam Flax is the best place for art books and supplies. I mean, needless to say.
Yeah.
But you guys have amazing books, and it just gets better and better.
Well, that has to do a lot with our buyer, Carrie Berry. You know Carrie.
Oh.
She scours line by line, finding interesting books, things that we haven't had before, things that we sold out of immediately, creating, it's this whole thing, the whole story's curated on that gift site, things that are fresh and fun. So that's part of it too.
I mean, I love fresh and fun. Well, maybe since you're one of our earlier guests, you'd be interested in come back in a few months, especially when you're getting ready for all these summer things. And we can help share all of your events on our social media and, see how everything's going and all the new projects that you have coming up.
I'd be happy to do that. And I can't believe you guys invited me to start with, but
Are you kidding?
This is a lot. We're unspelled than I thought it would be.
Oh, well, thank you. We try. So before we go into our rapid fire round.
Yes.
Is there anything you have rolling around in your head, or something that you would like to say, to our listeners, just about you, about Orlando, about Sam Flax, the arts in general?
Well, that's a pretty open-ended question. I would say this. I would say that one of the biggest blessings in my life, it comes from the arts. The way that I was brought up, that whole art scene, and now all these years later to be right in the middle of this scene with the store. And one of the treats that I get is the invitation to go to all these openings, to meet local artists, watch them in our framing department, get something framed, go to the openings, top art, top paint, brushes, all of that. And it's a huge blessing. So in that regard, I'm just so grateful to do what I do, to work with the people that I work with. We're a small company. It's 13 of us, half of which are part-time. So we're there all the time. We know all of you.
That's so beautiful. And that it speaks volumes about you as a person, because your position at Sam Flax as general manager doesn't end in a brick and mortar. I've seen you out. We've been at events at free all day. at the patrons program at the unveiling of the poster artist. I just saw you.
Oh, yes.
We run into. When are we going to lunch, Patricia? When are we done? And you are just a powerhouse in the community. And I know you're going to roll your eyes at me when I say that, but you really are. And that's why we're so honored to have you here. Like you said, yes.
Well, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that.
All right. So now we're going to put you under pressure.
Okay.
It's our rapid fire question round. Do you follow recipes through a T or do you wing them?
I usually follow them to a T.
What's your favorite food city?
Food City. Let's come back to that one.
Okay. All right. Who would play you in a movie about your life?
Oh, this is where if I say someone handsome, they're like, he's not handsome. Why did he say
say it.
Why did he say Brad Pitt?
Just because you like their bike.
Yes, I like her. You know who I like is Ed Norton. We don't look anything alike, but I think he's fantastic.
And you are.
Thank you very much. And food, Portugal. I can change my answer. I forgot about Portugal. It's fantastic.
All right. Well, one, I want to thank you again for, being part of our Painted City today. And I look forward to spending lots of time seeing you in the community.
Yeah, where will we find you on social media?
So everything is Sam Flax Orlando. So at Sam Flax Orlando, of course, the website, it's Sam Flax Orlando. We're on Instagram. Well, East Colonial. We're 1800 East Colonial. Right here, Mills 50, right next to Milk District. And for those of you at home that are listening to this, their studio, it's such an honor to have been asked to come here. We're recording this inside of a studio at the house, surrounded by art. It's just been a real thrill. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, too. So if you stop by Sam Flax, say hi to John and say, hey, I heard you on the Painted City. And ask him what's going on in the community or how you can be a part.
And don't forget to vote for Sam Flax on the ballot under, you tell us where?
Under Arts and Entertainment for Best Art Event. And don't forget to vote for Painted City because you guys are nominated. Your podcast, this very podcast that I'm on right now, is nominated for Best Podcast. So
thank you for all of you that voted out there.
Oh, yeah.
But that's on the ballot. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, John.
All right. So when we talk about the best of, please go to the Orlando Weekly and you can vote for us. I believe they take voting every day for Sam Flax or for the Painted City podcast.
I'm going to love it.
All right. Stay safe out there. Thank you so much.